Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Craving for Travel is the new comedy by Andy Sandberg and Greg Edwards. It will play from January 9th to February 9th here at the Peter J. Sharp Theater. It stars Michele Ragusa and Thom Sesma, and I caught up with the company on their very first day of rehearsal. Here we are. So first day of rehearsal.
First day of rehearsal. We're really looking forward to it. We've got a great team, two wonderful actors, and we're excited to dive in.
So take me back to the beginning of how you got involved and what attracted you to work on this project.
The producer, Jim Strong, found me and reached out, and we met in New York, I want to say it was about 2.5 years ago when we first started talking about this, and he was telling me that he wanted to put together a play about the travel world and the role of a travel agent. And I was intrigued because Jim is very successful in his field as a travel agent, and I appreciated the fact that he wanted to do something that was outside the box and something different and just broadening, a more general audience's view of the travel world. And I'm someone who wears a bunch of different hats, so I very much respected where he was coming from in that. And I just thought it was a cool endeavor and brought Greg on board to work with me. And we've written a script that we're excited about, and it's a new work, constantly developing and changing, and that's really a fun part of it. But it's a fun and often silly, but also at moments touching play, and we're excited to share it with the world here in New York.
So what can you tell us about this comedy?
It is two actors playing over 30 parts, and they play rival travel agents, Gary and Joanne, also former spouses. And in addition, they play all of the different vendors and other travel agents and callers and clients that they're dealing with throughout one particularly crazy day in their lives.
Talk about your cast.
Well, we have Michele Ragusa, who just completed her run in Disaster, and she's a wonderful performer who I've worked with before, and really excited to dive into this with her. She's brilliantly funny, incredibly talented, and excited to see her in the role of Joanne and many others. And Thom Sesma, who I've also had the pleasure of working with and knowing for quite a while, but this will be our first full production together as a director-actor collaboration, and we're really looking forward to it. He's phenomenal, and I think they're going to be a great duo, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of laughs in rehearsal and on stage, hopefully.
So, Jim, take me back to the beginning of how this all came about.
My goodness, I have been a travel agent for over 30 years, and I've heard everything and had everything thrown at me. And I said there would be no better way to explain what my life is like than to bring it to Broadway and do it in a comedy. And it's also about highlighting the travel agents and the professionalism that we portray and how we do our jobs, and that the public should be aware we're not going away.
So you went to whom? Did Greg and Andy get involved? How did this all happen?
Absolutely. Back in 2011, I contacted Andy, who brought Greg into the project, and then we sat down and went over scenarios, and they brought me a script, and we fine-tuned it, and here we are today with what I think is going to be a hit.
So let's talk about the comedy and traveling. There's got to be great stories.
Well, not only great stories, but great people. And that's what our two fine actors are going to bring about, is the personalities that we deal with day in, day out.
How excited are you to be working on this project?
I am hugely excited. This is my first off-Broadway production, and the fact to be in New York in a rehearsal studio overlooking the New York skyline is a dream come true, especially with such a fantastic project and such a fantastic creative team.
Talk about working with Andy on this.
As Andy mentioned, he and I have known each other since college, and we've been friends and collaborators throughout the year. And so for this project, Andy was originally brought on as director, and he brought in some writers to interview, myself included. And during the interview process, I think Andy, Jim, and I shared the same vision of a bunch of different travel stories that interrelated and conveyed both the physical experience and the emotional experience of traveling. So early in the project, I had asked Andy to be a co-writer because we have strengths as writers that complement each other. My sense of humor tends to be quirky, and Andy's sense of humor tends to be as people actually talk, which is convenient when you are conveying people talking. And so the two of us would sit side by side throughout the process in Google Docs. So most times you think of collaboration as someone there with the notepad, the other person pacing the room. But in our case, it was both two cursors in the same document at the same time. Me typing a lot of things, Andy deleting a lot of things and adding things of his own. And just editing each other and creating a very, what we hope is a powerful play.
I think I'm playing something like 16, 17, 18 people. And it's in order to do them large, you have to know who they are when they're not so large. You have to be true to that. So I think that's the great challenge of doing something like this.
So the first time you read the play, what went through your mind?
What the hell am I doing? Why would I even go in for something this hard?
Why did I say yes?
why did I say yes? Andy's such an old friend of mine. I trust him implicitly. So Andy wouldn't have, I don't think Andy would have called me in or would have considered me for this unless I was capable of doing it. But I think that's something that happens with actors. I think the more we do this, the harder it actually gets sometimes. So this is going to be challenging and wonderful all at the same time. At the very least, it's going to be enormous fun. I've known Michele for so long. I've been such a fan of hers. It's actually sort of on my bucket list, one of the people I want to work with. And we get to do that. We get to come here and play. And having worked with Andy before, he kind of gets out of the way and he lets you play.
What can you tell us about some of the characters already?
They're extreme. They're extreme. I play Priscilla, who's an Aussie hotel clerk. I play Wade Davenport, whose father was an admiral at the Battle of Midway on the Intrepid, and money is no object, I might say. I play any number of hysterical people who are trapped and abandoned in these crazy travel situations that Gary, who I am as the travel agent, has to help out and sort of keep a level head on his shoulders.
Let's talk about this two-person piece, because you play lots of characters.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the characters you'll play.
Oh my gosh. Well, I play a woman from Buffalo, which is my hometown, so that's a good one. I play a very flamboyant hotel desk person. I hear tell that I also have to be a Jamaican man, an Arab man, and someone from Lithuania, although haven't met the dialect coach yet. So good times, yeah.
So the first time you read the play, what went through your mind?
How am I going to memorize this?
It comes down to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I thought, wow, this is quite the undertaking. I mean, I have done a one-person play, which is a whole nother, bag of neurosis. But yeah, I think that this is, hopefully we won't have one of those moments where the phone rings and I just have no idea who's going to be on the other end.
Throw it to Thom.
Yeah, Thom, what do you think about that?
So, travel. I mean, everyone has crazy travel stories, and we've all got them. Something funny happened to you?
Something funny just happened to me recently. I was flying to do a symphony gig, and I got on the plane, and I was sitting by the window, and it's a small plane, and as I got on, I saw that there was a woman sitting in the aisle seat. So as I approached, I said, excuse me, I just need to get in. And I looked down by my seat, and there's a Rottweiler. There was a Rottweiler, like, with a big chain around its neck. And I said, okay, hello. And apparently he was a service. I don't know if he was emotional support or if he's being trained. I don't know. But that was the first time that there was a dog in my seat.